Welcome back and welcome to my April wrap up. I'm going to have to go really quickly through this because I read a lot of books in the month of April, 23 to be exact. So I'm going to start off with the books that I read during the 24-hour readathon. The video for that is coming soon, I promise. I'm just trying to be a little bit fancy with it, so it's taking a little bit longer. So firstly, I finished listening to the audiobook of All Fall Down by Jennifer Weiner. I know I have a physical copy of this one, but this one was actually an audiobook listen. Then I read the physical copy of Wing Jones by Catherine Webber. I read all of this during the readathon, and I am probably going to talk a little bit more about this one in my wrap up for that. Then I also read the physical proof of The Last Piece of My Heart by Paige Toon. This one comes out in the UK on the 12th of May, so that's 18th of May, next Thursday. And I read this one from start to finish during the readathon as well. I loved it. I will be making a video about this one. Then I also finished listening to the audiobook of Down Under by Bill Bryson, another one where I have the physical book of it, but I actually listened to the audiobook, and I finished listening to it was literally the last few pages of this during the readathon. I listened to this one on a road trip with my husband during the month of April. Then another book which I finished during the readathon, but I didn't read all of it, was Difficult Women by Roxane Gay. I'd been wanting to read this one for a little while, and so I kind of left it for this readathon because it's a collection of short stories. I read some of the stories I couldn't get into, so technically I read the whole book, but I didn't read every word of the whole book. But I read this one during the readathon. I reckon I probably read about half of it, so I counted this as 125 pages since it's a 250 page book. Then on to some more of the actual physical books I read during the month of April. I have made a video about this one, but I read Doing It by Hannah Witten. If you want to see the video for that one, I will link it below. I also read Nasty Women, which is a collection of essays on what it's like to be a woman in the 21st century. I talked about this one in my April TBR, and I will be featuring this one in a video soon, so watch out for that. And then this book here, you can see is post-ited, so I will be making a video talking about this one. It'll probably be in the same video as the Nasty Woman book, but I read Girl Up by Laura Bates. This one and the Nasty Woman book, I literally read both of these in one sitting because I love them so much, and I have marked lots of pages to tell you about in this one, so look out for a video talking about this fab book coming up soon. Then another physical book I have, but I actually listened to the audiobook of, is A Song for Tomorrow by Alice Peterson. I have already made a video about this one, so I will link that down below for you as well. And then another one where I have the physical book, but I listened to the audiobook, that is I Know What I'm Doing and Other Lies I Tell Myself by Jen Kirkman. I have written a review for this one, so definitely check that out on the blog down below because I talk in a little bit more detail about what I thought about this book. And then one I finished very recently, physical book, listen to it on audiobook. Are you seeing a pattern here? Hungry Heart, but also by Jennifer Weiner. This was bought for Christmas for me by my husband, and I wanted to get to it, but the audiobook is actually read by her, so that's why I downloaded the audiobook from the library and listened to that. I will be keeping this beauty on my shelf because I love this book. And then another one which I have on physical book but I listened to on audiobook is I Found You by Lisa Jewell. I've been meaning to get to this one for so long, and finally I was like, right, going to download the audiobook and listen to it very intently. And this is from me reading this just in time for her new book coming out, which comes out in July. And I do have a NetGalley copy of that one, so I will be reading and talking about that very soon. And a couple of physical books I read but I had checked out from the library. I read The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. I made a video about that one, so I will link that down below so you can see some more thoughts on that one. And then ebooks I read on my lovely trusty Kindle. That's upside down. Don't want to put the Kindle upside down. I read The Secrets of Ivy Garden by Catherine Ferguson. I read this right at the beginning of the month, and so you can see a review of that on my blog because I was part of the blog tour for that one. I also read The State of Grace by Rachel Lucas, which was very much firmly on my April TBR, and I think my review of that one is coming up in the next couple of weeks, so just keep your eyes out for that one. Another ebook I was part of the blog tour for was Spring at Blueberry Bay by Holly Martin. I have already reviewed that one, so definitely check the link below and you'll be able to see my thoughts on my blog on that one. I also read The Woman at Number 24 by Julia Ashton. I do have a physical copy of this one, so I don't know why I'm not holding it up, but I read it on Kindle and then got the physical copy after I'd already read it. I also read the serialized installment of the Picture House by the Sea series by Holly Hepburn. I read Singing in the Rain at the Picture House by the Sea. I have already reviewed this, so again, check my blog below and you'll be able to find my review of that one. I also read Then, Now, Always by Isabel Broom. I made a video talking about Isabel's previous book, so definitely go and check that out because I have read and reviewed her latest book. Again, link in the blog post below. And then a couple of audiobooks which I listened to, which I don't have a physical copy of. I read The House of New Beginnings by Lucy Diamond. I don't believe I've posted my review of this one yet, so definitely keep your eyes out for that one. I also listened to the audiobook of Onward by Howard Schultz, which was quite a different listen because I obviously picked it up because it's about Starbucks, and as you know, I'm a massive Starbucks fan, but it's kind of a book about business and about his passion for the business, and it was interesting because it gets such a bad rap of being this giant faceless corporation, but him telling this story in this book shows you that actually, you know, so much of the passion and so much of the ideas come from these real people, and it's not actually faceless. There is a face, and all the people that you see in Starbucks and managing Starbucks and CEOs of Starbucks are the face of that corporation, and it was quite interesting. I do have a physical copy of this book and I can't find it on my shelves, and I don't know why. I'm a bit suspicious about that one. And then I listened to, during the readathon, I listened to Binge by Tyler Oakley, which I absolutely loved. I kind of downloaded it. I'd been on the waitlist on the library for it for a little while, and then I kind of decided on a whim to make it part of the 24-hour readathon. I'm really glad I did because it gave my eyes a rest during the readathon, and also it was really good fun. So I think I might make a whole video talking about that one. I just need to go and pick up a copy of the book so I've got something to actually tell you about. And then finally, part of the 24-hour readathon as well, I also listened to Men Explain Things For Me. No, to me, not for me, which I had on audiobook for a little while, and I was kind of winding down towards the end of the 24 hours. I had a couple of hours left. This audiobook is a couple of hours long, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about this one in the video that I make to talk about Girl Up and Nasty Women, so definitely look out for that one. Okay, I read 23 books in April. I have told you about all of them. I've made videos to discuss some of them, and I've got upcoming videos to discuss some of the others. I am very excited to read some new books in May. I have some fab library books which you saw in my library haul video, so I will have my May TBR up for you either tomorrow or the day after, because I also need to make my 24-hour readathon wrap up. So if you are not already subscribed, please do subscribe to me and give this video a thumbs up. It would be lovely to have you on board, and thank you very much for watching. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.